Welcome to Part 5 of the 96 National Historic Site Museum Tour. Next to the Law and Order display is a 3-pound brass cannon on a blue-gray carriage. A wooden bucket sits below the muzzle. Behind the cannon is a mannequin of a Patriot soldier dressed in a dark blue coat with red cuffs and facing, white breeches, and a black tricorn hat with a black cockade. He has a black cartridge box with a white strap hanging across his chest and resting on his right hip. Going the other way across his chest is a bayonet scabbard with a white strap and a linen-colored haversack. The sign next to the cannon reads, "The Grasshopper." This reproduction 3-pound cannon, commonly referred to as the Grasshopper, was so named because of its lightness and mobility. British and Loyalist troops used these guns in their defense of 96 and Star Fort during the 1781 siege. It fired a 3-pound solid ball or a cluster of wrapped small balls called grape shot. About 16 men usually formed each gun crew, with 8 soldiers carrying and positioning the cannon, while the remaining were loading and firing it. The cannon is made of several parts: the gun, the carriage, and the wheels. You may touch the cannon, but do not touch the implements propped behind it. Walking behind the cannon to look at the barrel, the vent hole is on the top, and I and P. Verbergen Fescherant is stamped around the base ring. Above the cascabel are the numbers 1, 3, 10. Moving from the cannon is another wall display entitled "The American Revolution." The top text on the left says, "A Civil War. The American Revolution in South Carolina was actually a civil war. Inconclusive fighting at 96 led to a temporary truce between Patriots and Loyalists. Then the Patriots, in a snowy winter campaign in 1775, destroyed organized loyal opposition. Guerrilla warfare continued." Next to this text is a drawing of militia dressed in all manner of clothing, from hunting shirts to uniforms, drilling. The line of men face their 2 officers. Below this drawing, and to the far right, is a portrait of a man with his hair tied back, wearing a tricorn hat with a cockade. To the left, the text reads, "Loyalist Position. Many English and Scotch-Irish settlers felt bound by the 18th century ethos of loyalty to the established society and had little in common with the Low Country aristocrats, were taxed by the colony, but had little representation in the South Carolina Assembly. Many German settlers were naturalized British subjects, had received financial aid in settling, had received land grants from the Crown, felt sympathy for King George III, a fellow German." To the left of this text, more text reads, "Rebel Position. Many settlers felt all the colonies had a common cause, held their disagreement with Parliament, not the Crown, felt that they must fight to establish their own home rule." Next to this text is the portrait of a man wearing a voyager's cap. Below the Patriot and Loyalist, in the center of the board, is a fragment of a 1-pound swivel gun that was found in the 96 village in July of 1976. Below this fragment, and to the left, is a map of what is now western North and South Carolina, eastern Tennessee, and northern Georgia. The map shows the location of 96, as well as other forts and Cherokee towns. The text next to the map reads, Indian War Truce. The summer of 1776 brought Indian raids sparked by the interruption of the Indian trade and by some whites moving into Cherokee lands. Some Loyalists joined the Cherokee. More joined the Patriots in a common effort to protect the frontier. By October, the militia had burned 32 Cherokee towns and their food supplies, ending the threat of further raids. Below this map, more text reads, Backcountry War. British seizure of Savannah and Charleston in 1780 led the British occupation of principal strong points at Augusta, Camden, Georgetown, and 96. Now it was the turn of the Patriot forces to suffer disorganization, but the guerrilla war continued. 96, the westernmost post, was crucial. It guarded the Cherokee Path, and it protected an important region which could supply the British with food and men. Lord Cornwallis, commanding in the south and the most aggressive British general in America, instructed a subordinate that 96 must be kept at all cost. To another, he wrote, You know the importance of 96. Let that place be your constant care. Next to this text is a map of South Carolina with rivers, towns, and forts. The Loyalist or British strongholds, Augusta, 96, Camden, Georgetown, and Charleston, are all indicated by a British flag. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back later with the next part of the museum tour.